here's our bug character. I've noticed he's still got some angular bits there, so I'm going to go mesh display, soften edge, and I'm going to switch off object X. Right, so he's there, and if we hit 3, he looks like that, which is cool. Okay, so now we've got him, we need to make him a pretty colour. We need to paint him. So normally when you're in 3D animation kind of mode, something like a box that's just made by Maya itself and designed by Maya, if I go UV editor, it says that's how it lays out, that if you put some texture on here, it looks like that, and you can see that that square there that's got those double zeros in there, that's what that looks like. So let's test it, and if you put an image in, it will come up there. That's just your test layout. Right, however, we started with a box with this guy, and then we built things and we docked things in. If I get him, I go UV layout, you get that. Now that was all the bits and pieces that the original volume started with. So this was a box, and this was a box, and then these were cylinders and everything. Then we added bits in, and we made bits good, and filled holes and everything. And so Maya doesn't really know how to lay that out at all. And we could cut this up a little bit at a time and re-unwrap bits and pieces and then stitch edges together. But it's usually better just to get that and go UV, delete UVs, and they just go. And we've not deleted anything in reality, because if you just go to UV editor, you go, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. That there model has no UVs. And then just to make it easy to ourselves, and we might want to just cut it up and arrange them, we can go UV planar. I mean, you can generate UVs lots of different ways. I quite like best plane here, because if I apply it, it gives me that template, which is notionally a little bit rubbish because it's diagonal upside down. But if I go to the rotates of the gizmo here, and I just put some zeros in there, it does that, which means then if I open the UV editor up, it gives me that, which I can see what I'm doing with, really. So I'm going to accept that. So he's now got some UVs. In fact, what I can do here, let me get rid of that for now. I can go from the general workspace to the UV editing workspace, which for recording videos and actually doing some work in it is actually an awful lot easier. So there's our model in perspective view down one side, and here's our UVs here. So we've got some controls. That's a UV island or a UV shell. So UV island is Blender, UV shell is Maya. These are UVs. So UVs are kind of like vertices, but they're not. They're the points on the UV layout. And so a UV coincides with a vertex, but it's more to do with its mapping coordinates rather than its 3D coordinates. So what I'm going to do is, now I've got basically one big UV shell, which I can't unfold or flatten out to paint on. What I need to do is to cut this thing up. So I think first off, I'm just going to take his arms off. Now that's the arms of the UV shell. If I go edge and I find that one in the middle there, that one, and I go here, here's my tools, cut, and now I go to UV shell. Can I stop that displaying like that? No, grid's better. There we go, that's better, no image. UV shell, so now that's a separate shell because I've cut it off. So I can go W and take that off. And what I want to do is then cut that in half. Now, because of the way we modelled it, there's a single seam line that goes all the way through the fingers, all the way around the arm, so we can cut it into a top arm and a top half and a bottom half. If I select that edge loop here, it goes all the way around the body to back to the end of the edge loop there. If I select it here, I'm only selecting it in that shell. So it's better to select those big edge loops. You can sometimes need to find them over here and then gotta go, no, just over here, mate. So if I go cut there, I've now got 2 UV shells, which doesn't make much sense so far, but if I select them both there and go come here, where it says unfold, I can go unfold, and it does that. So what it does is it maximizes, it turns the polygons towards the image plane, which means we can then sort of paint a pattern on them, which is lovely. And so that's nice and simple. Now it can get a lot more complicated depending on your layer and your geometry, but one of the reasons we modelled this in the way that we modelled it was to make it easy to unwrap, because it's the first time everybody's done it. Cut. And so now that one comes off there. We can go to edge there by right clicking, get that one, that goes all the way around. Cut it. We have UV shell. We have 2 UV shells. Do that. Now, they turn towards the camera, so the normal displays coming out in the middle of a polygon says this is the way around the texture goes. So it's the outside that turns up towards the picture plane. There we go. So we've now got the rest of the hands unfolded. I'm doing this in a certain order, which just allows me to sort of do it fairly systematically. So I'm going to take the head off next. Go, cut. And again, I'm not actually altering the head geometry. I'm just taking the UV layout apart. So I'm going to go to edge there and go that one there. So that goes all the way around except for the bottom there. We can select the next ones if we want to. Let's just cut those for now, because we then get in here, we can kind of go, oh, we didn't do that one and that one, so we can go cut. There we go. So now we should have 2 UV shells there. Maybe I should have cut his horns off first. I think the horn's going to be a different colour, and maybe the horns won't be a single mesh as well. So I can do that here. Go edge, that one down there, go cut, and that will cut both shells in the UV editor, because I'm selecting the edges and the polygon side of it. Cut. So we can do that. I mean, if we wanted to unwrap the horns, sometimes it's better to do it. As I say, if I go there to there and do that, I can go stitch together. And we'll do that. Oops. Control Z. Let's select that as a shell, and then go unfold. That'll do that. And so I can do that as well with this one. Yeah. Edge, please. That one. And then go to that one. Go. That one. And go. Stitch together. Select it as a shell. Unfold it. Unfold. There we go. So there's his arms. Head, unfold, head, unfold. Okay, and that's just turned all the polygons towards. This one will unwrap a lot easier if I cut those bits. So if I go there, go, oh, that was a mistake, Z, don't do that, Z. Select edge, that bit there, and then cut that, there we go. So now if I go back to the shell mode and go unfold, that unfolds the neck a little bit easier as well. Okay, so that's his head done. Let's do his jumper. So his jumper wants to come off around here, so double click there, cut. Do that as a single UV shell to start off with, and then we just want to front and back it, I think. So go to edge, double click there, cut, double click there. So it's where it turns away from the camera, really. Cut, cut, and then we should have two UV shells there. There, there. Select them both. Unfold. There we go. So that's that one. Now his trousers can be a little bit more difficult to do because I'm unfolding in different directions and take up loads and loads of space. We could do them as individual legs. I mean, they're just going to be purple, I think, because he's a bug, and obviously bugs have purple trousers. So if I go edge, I'll cut that boot bit off there. I'll go there, cut that boot bit off there. Cut. Right, UV shells, let's move those. I could notionally do a leg at a time. I mean, we're all going to paint them the same colour. Let's see how weirdly distorted they get. So if I go edge, let's cut edge please. There we go. That one, so we can cut the trousers apart like that, so we've got separate legs. And then normally I'm trying to hide the seam at the back. You could notionally cut one on the inside there and cut one on the inside there. And then you've got two UV shells which look like that, and each one is a trouser leg. And then you could possibly, if you wanted to, whatever that is, so that's that one, so that one, two, that one, and that one, you go stitch together, and that would be his trousers. So yeah, oops, no. Select that as shell, not this as the edge. Okay, cool. So that, apart from the boots. Okay, well let's take the soles off first. So if we go edge, that one, shift, that one, and then go cut. I'll take those off. And then really, actually, that one. Unfold, do that, and then go UV, planar, I'll do, you can see it now, UV, planar, there we go, there's the soles of these boots, they're a bit big, let's do that. I do wonder if I unfold them now, whether they'll just a bit become tight. Oh, now they'll work, don't know. How strange. Right, so this one, I just want that. I don't know whether or not, because I mean, if we do them and we unfold them, they do that, which is weird. Control Z. So if I do that to there, and then go cut, and then I just want to hold the shift key and go to there, and go cut. So now I get that and go unfold it, it'll do that, which is the right thing to do. Yay, there we go. So really on this one, if I go edge, I just want that one and that, and then cut, and then UV shell, and then unfold. There we go. So that's the tops of the boots, the bottoms of the boots, the head. Now, if we go object mode, and we select them as an object, we can go modify layout, and what it'll do is it'll pack. And what it's done when it's packed is it's made everything the equal size, so they're the right scale to each other, but they are all organised in a kind of crazy way, and what it's done is it's moved things, but it's not rotated them. I can go to UV shell. I can go, well, you're all relatively the right shape, size to each other, but you're not necessarily. So that's the back of the shirt. And that's the front of the shirt, which is kind of useful to know the difference between. These are both the horns. Yeah. And so what I would normally do with these is try and stack them some kind of way that makes sense to each other. So I could do that, and then because they've both got diagonal sides on them, I could stack them next to each other nice and close, because they're going to be the same colour. And it just makes it easier to paint it in Photoshop. It's also worth noting at this point, which is a bit late in the day to be mentioning it, but the keyboard shortcuts for navigation in the UV editor is the same as it is. Do they go together like that? They could go together like that. So if I make that like that, what's the other half of them? It's that one. That's the other half of the same arm. E. I mean, these don't have to really be stacked together. That's good or bad. Something along those lines like that. Okay. Trousers, I might go E. So the packing thing has maximised the amount of texture space each shell has without actually rotating anything around. But we can kind of go, actually I want that to be that way up. And quite often with this, I want things in certain places just so I know that that's where they are. So I'm going to put the top of the head there. I'm probably going to shrink everything down a little bit to get it in, because I'm losing efficiency a little bit by just saying, actually I want it that way around. So I hit F. Just want to get this one a little bit more up and down. Straight up, straight down. Yeah, that's pretty good. So those are going to be the same colour. Those are going to be one colour. That's the front. So the front I'm going to put in the middle there. This guy is not really going to fit, is he? Those two go on. Nudge them in. There we go. Horns can go there. Shoe tops can go there. And shoe bottoms can go there. So what we've got is a layout there. And what's nice is we know that that's the front of the face. No, those are the arms. Those. Okay, cool. So we can go object mode. Right. So now we have a layout. Now we've got to work out what to do with it. So we can paint it. So we know that if we load a file, a PNG or something, onto this, that anything that's in this square, if it's there on that square painting in a Photoshop painting, it will come out on the figure in that place. So that's the way the layout works. So now what we have to do is go image, UV snapshot. You've got to be at object level for this to work. And it's going to go, look, it's going to go into bug images, UV out. So I'm going to go out, UV body, because we might unwrap other bits later. We don't want to make it if we want a PNG, and we want the edge colours to be black. Oh, there we go. Go apply, and it tells you down here saved. So hopefully, we're in source images here. If I go bug images, there we've got the out body UV there. So if I go Photoshop and then bring the folder back up again, I can drop it. I mean, I've got one already there, and I can stick that on top. Yay! There we go. Hit return. So I've just dropped it. Oh, I've got a text layer for something. Yeah. Right. So we've got this. So this sits on top. Dum dum. And it's a 2048 by 2048 PNG. Now, as it stands, if I mapped this back onto bug, it will come out white with black lines all over him. So his face kind of wants to be white. Hang on, I'm the wrong tool. Let's have the. I'm trying to navigate this in the same way that I navigate Maya, which is not going to work. So I want to be working on the background layer, which needs to be live, so it's no longer lovely. So I want to put in. Shall I go for a elliptical? So something like that. That's too big. Let's do that. Right, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to paint that purple. So something like that. Shall we go? Okay, cool. Paint bucket that. Go back on the ellipse. Bring it over. So very slow while you're doing it. Maybe we ought to speed up the video here until it's in the same space over there. Oops, add bucket, be on the bucket tool. Right, so we've got those. And if we wanted just to test that out and say, well, how's that working? We can hide these. What I would do though is I'm just going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'll do a bit of blur. File, export, quick export, PNG. And we want to be in all over C, bug source images. I'm going to call this bug skin. Call it bug skin 01. Just see. So let's go back to Maya. Okay, let's go back to the general workspace and get rid of the snapshot options. Right, now that's his layout. It's done. And so this is the tweaky bit of it. So if we go delete by type history, it goes, but his layout is still there. So we're safe. So I can go right click and go assign new material, go Arnold shader, standard surface. So it's now an Arnold shader because that's what we're going to render in. And where it says color base, I'm going to go there, file. I want to be able to insert a file into it, so it's a file node, bug skin 01 PNG. Open. And if I hit 6, it will display that. Woohoo! So he's now got kind of purple bits around his eyes. I want to go inside that somewhere there and start to line it back up again. So if I want to know where that is, I can go edge and then go UV editor. It will tell me that I want to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings in. 5 rings in. So I'm back in Photoshop. Bring this guy back in. 5 rings is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's there. So I could notionally do. Well, is that right? I don't know if that's right or not. Go down. Right now. It's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. Let's go again. Let's go from there. That's a little bit small. There. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so let's go for same colour but lighter. Okay, and then I'm going to bucket that in there. And then I'm going to try and get that in the same space over the other side. There probably are better Photoshop techniques in there, especially making this go faster. Something like that, I think. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, there we go. Cool, I'll get rid of that. Then I can that. And we'll do is filter, sim blur, do that, bring that down. Okay, right, so that's that bit. So, right, we could try that again now. We can go File, Export, Quick Export as PNG, do the same thing, go Save. You come back to Maya, you go, there's the standard surface, we'll call it Bug Skin, I think. Oh, Bug Skin. Here we go. File 01. You can do Bug Skin 01. Open. Or you just hit that reload button, it's fine. And then, there you go. Object mode. Now it's got that slightly paler inside. And it's too small. I need it to go further out. Oh, that's annoying. Anyway, I'll do that later. So what my plan is this. So you do that. And I'm just going to do big areas in similar colours. Still trying to navigate this with the same tools as Maya, which doesn't work. And so I think big areas of this, I'm going to go to a rectangular marquee because I can get away with it. Can I? No, I can't. That one. So I can go Control All, copy, and come over here and go paste. Control T, which is free transform. I do believe that's the front of his shirt there. Now I know that I'm going to put a strap over his shoulder. I think that's that front of his shirt. If we go back to Maya, we can kind of go UV editor. Go F. And then if I go shell, go that one. Go, yeah, that one in the middle is the front. So now I can go back to Photoshop. Cool, that's good. Clickety boo. Hide that. And so the only thing that I quite like to do is make that in a bit bigger, something like that. Okay. So Taylor. Just go filter, blur, sim blur, and then a little bit more than 2. Okay, cool. And then Control 0. Boom. Take off the marquee. File. Export. Quick export as PNG. Bug Skin. Save. Yes, I want Maya, we want this guy. Object mode. We can go to Bug Skin then. File there. Reload. And there's our guy. So next thing is eyes. But yeah, he's starting to look quite cool, if I should say so myself. I mean, he's on his way anyway. Right, so that's Bug so far, and that's how to UV unwrap him. So we can go File, Save Scene As, Stage 5. UV unwrapped. Yeah, very cool. Save as. So next time, eyes, and maybe the sword as well. So that should be fun. We'll do that in the next one. See you then. Bye.